Hello, I'm Stephen Hamilton. This video was made to give you assistance in completing your divorce or legal separation as a self-represented party in California. In a California divorce, almost all of the paperwork you file with the court will be submitted on forms. State forms can be found at www.courts.ca.gov/formname.htm. If you open a form from the site, you can fill it out and save it on your own computer in case any changes need to be made in the future. On that website, you can select forms based on subject area, name, or form number. Most forms you will use in your divorce start with the letters FL followed by numbers. Some forms are also made available in languages other than English. When the forms are complete, you need to date and sign them before you turn them into the court clerk. Several of the forms include separate instructions such as FL 107 INFO or FL 300 INFO. If they are available, you should review the instructions before completing the form. Sometimes you have to provide the court with information that doesn't neatly fit into the allocated space on a form. In that case, you can use an attachment or a separate piece of paper to give the court additional information. For example, you can use Form MC031 if you need to provide the court with a declaration to support a request you're making of the court. You should also become familiar with the rules of your local court. A list of the county rules can be found at the California Court's website listed below. Local rules explain the procedures expected of you from your local judges. They can include local forms that need to be submitted and provide you with other information that will assist you in completing your divorce. One of the most important things to remember is that your divorce will not automatically happen. You will need to submit paperwork to the court in order to request orders or obtain a judgment. Before you get a divorce judgment, you will have to provide the court with several different forms. Form FL 182, the judgment checklist, will tell you what forms you need to complete and keep you on track for obtaining your judgment. Two important deadlines exist in California in connection with your divorce. First, a divorce cannot be final until 6 months and 1 day after the other party has been served with a petition. However, that does not mean you are divorced at 6 months. It means you can get a divorce after the 6 months has expired. If you have reached an agreement with your spouse and want to obtain a judgment before the 6 months expires, you can still submit the judgment to the court and they will enter it as a final judgment. However, they will indicate a divorce date that falls after the 6 months has expired. Second, the court can dismiss your divorce or legal separation if you've not obtained a judgment within 5 years of filing your petition. Not all courts will dismiss your case after the 5 years has expired, but they can. So it's a good idea to try and complete your divorce paperwork sooner rather than later. A very important resource to help you finish your divorce is your family law facilitator. You can get information about your local facilitator at the website that appears below. Facilitators usually have set hours, so it is important to make an appointment or ask about the facilitator hours in your county. Also, facilitators are not allowed to give you legal advice. They are there to direct you to the correct forms and give you information on how to complete the forms to help you finish your divorce. If you reach an agreement with the other party, you can complete your divorce without ever having to appear before a judge. However, if you cannot resolve all the issues, you will need to ask the court for a trial date in order to complete your divorce. But there are several alternatives to going to a court trial to get your divorce finished if you and your spouse disagree about any issues. These resources include family court services in your county. Family court services conduct mediations to help you work out custody orders if that is an issue in your case. You also have the ability to go to a private mediator who will assist you and your spouse in reaching agreement on disputed issues. Once you have your divorce judgment, there is additional work you will need to do. That means you may need to change your will if you have one. You'll need to transfer vehicles with the DMV. You'll need to close joint bank accounts and credit cards. And you'll need to notify DMV and Social Security of your name change. Also, do not forget to change beneficiaries on insurance policies, as well as notifying your doctors and others of the change in your name. I would encourage you to watch the other videos on this channel to learn out how to fill out the forms to complete your divorce or legal separation as a self-represented party. Thank you.